It is funny when people comment that I'm not awakened or not enlightened, which is, in a sense, just a toxic metaframe coming out of the necessity of sexual hierarchy. It's really nothing deeper spiritually, because the moment that you comment below somebody, directly speaking to them, trying to put them down, is nothing else than a toxic metaframe. And a toxic metaframe comes from a suppressed libido sacral chakra. So there's no deeper desire than that. How can you know if someone is enlightened or awakened? Awakening is super simple. You can recognize a certain spaciousness when they talk about awakening. They have no trouble with silence in the mind or in speaking. There's nothing to prove to anyone. Now, what is the difference to enlightenment? Enlightenment is when you're so awake to the self that all karmic issues and vasanas and everything have been released from the body, that nothing has any effect on you anymore. Like Ramana, for example. Now, awakening doesn't mean that nothing has an effect on you anymore. Enlightenment does. You can be fully awakened to the self, but still be preferring certain situations over other situations, for example. So if somebody is mean to me, I would go out of that way, that person's way. The enlightened doesn't care. For him, everything is the same. Now that most people are not awakened, 99.999999999%. Maybe 1 in a million are awakened truly to the true self, not some conceptual idea of it. They are in no position to recognize who is enlightened or not. It's just the mind is trying to tell them, because they've heard it somewhere, how an enlightened or awakened person should act. If someone acts in a certain way, you think, okay, this person is awakened. But that is not true. You can recognize awakening only if you're awakened yourself, because then you recognize the spaciousness. You recognize that everything can be dropped at any moment in time, because you know you are not that. Can you judge others if you're awakened? Let's not call it judging. Let's call it speaking facts, for example. Can you speak something about someone? Absolutely. Makes no difference to the beingness you are. I could say the worst things ever right now, but the awakening is still real. People confuse awakening with being unconditionally loving. It's not the same thing. You are more loving than you would be if you're not awakened. But it doesn't have to be unconditional. That is more enlightenment, where you don't care in a positive sense. Because for you as an enlightened, everything is one. But even acts of the enlightened could be by someone who's not awakened be interpreted as, oh, because he does that, he's not enlightened. So it's basically just toxic metaframing. The necessity for sexual hierarchy, and pressing others down because you yourself are unhappy in your life. And there's tremendous amounts of people that are unhappy. All these 99% people that are not awakened, most of them are unhappy, without sometimes being conscious of it. And that's it.